I have an idea. Let's record a shitty intro. Just strum it.
Okay.
This is the Zach and Akash show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Zach and Akash show. Coming at you live from Connecticut. My name's Akash.
My name is Zach.
I was wondering if you'd play along with that. Good morning. It's a beautiful. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I'm losing track of the days again. Today's Wednesday. Yeah. This is the show where we talk about a bunch of stuff. Today's topic is Whomst is Genghis Khan.
Stuff.
This is the Wikipedia show number 4, where we research a topic and we come back and talk about it. Today is Akash's research day.
And Akash researched Big Boy Genghis Khan. Before talking about his research, he's gonna eat his coffee bean. I'm running out of coffee beans. I'm gonna have to get some. There it is.
Order from Blue Bottle. Today's video sponsor is Blue Bottle. No, I'm kidding. Ask Lydia for a discount. As requested by Eli, he wants more slurping sounds from my coffee, so I'm gonna go ahead and.
Beautiful.
So this one's dedicated to you, Eli. You may or may not be listening. So Akash,
Oh man,
Whomst is Sir Genghis Khan.
I don't know who Genghis Khan is, but I could talk about Temujin Borjigin.
Oh fuck.
Which was Genghis Khan's, or rather, Chenghis Khan's real name.
Wow.
So he was the ruler of the Mongolian Empire, and for those of you who didn't know, that extended pretty much all of Asia, except for India and Southeast Asia, and also parts of Eastern Europe and, yeah, I guess the Russian parts of Asia. So a lot of land to be covered by one dude. In his lifetime, he only covered majority of Asia, and then it expanded beyond Asia to Europe beyond his lifetime. That was actually the children who pushed it there. So it was not all him, just a common misbelief. He is known as the greatest conqueror. He is also known as a genocidal ruler, which is not completely true. I'll talk more about that later. And he brought order to the Silk Road, which was huge. That was one of the positives of his own thing. You know, he brought the Silk Road under one political power, and it made trade easier for everyone. Just dope AF. Oh, you had the Wikipedia up on
I
that?
was playing
Huh?
I was playing around to make it cool.
Dude, the
I know it's
bars
fucked up. It's fucked up. I
Can
gotta
you just
fix
put
that
the
later.
bars on with it?
Yeah, I'll fix it later.
Alright, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, let's talk about, the most interesting part. I didn't really go to, there's a lot on Genghis Khan. There's a lot of routes you can go into, but I'm more focused on his earlier life, and I wanted to look more into that. Because all his conquests and stuff, it's pretty much he went to war, and then he conquered them.
Oh,
I want to see how he rose to power.
No big
Right?
deal, just killing.
No biggie. Just killing a few people, taking lands. But I didn't realize he didn't come from he didn't start ruling because of his family ties. He came from pretty much nothing. He was a underdog. He lived his life in poverty. So pretty much when he was 9, his father was the chief of this mini nomadic tribe. Back when he was born, there were just a bunch of nomadic tribes where he was from. His father was the chief of one of those, and to make an alliance, his father sent him at 9 to his future wife's home so he could work there for that chief. and they didn't get married or anything. But around when he was 12-ish, I believe, he heard that his father was killed by enemies of the war or of the tribe. So he goes back and tries to claim his position as chief, but the rest of the tribe didn't accept him. So they're just like, "Fuck you, we don't want you," and they left.
Wow, it's kind
He
of
was
fucked up.
left with nothing. So the next few years, he didn't go back to see his future wife or anything. He pretty much worked with his brothers. He had I believe it was 3 brothers or something, and his mother, to pretty much establish somewhat of a new tribe. And then his brother became leader, and then his mom was his brother pretty much took his mother as his wife. Just kind of weird.
Wait, back up. His brother took his mother as a wife.
Yeah, but this was like a stepbrother, or maybe it was his half brother. So it wasn't his brother's mom; it was his mom. It was Genghis Khan's,
So
Temujin's mom.
his
That his
stepmom,
brother. Well, no, his real mom,
but like
but
the
his
other
brother's
kids. Yeah,
stepmom. Yeah.
I think I've seen this before.
Zach, do you have something you'd like to tell us?
we're gonna move on.
Yeah, but Genghis Khan pretty much hated his brother for this. So he teamed up with this other brother, and they killed the eldest brother.
Shit.
Because they're like, "No, that's my mom. You will not
That's some
lay
Cain and
with
Abel
my
shit.
mom."
So
Yeah.
technically he killed his dad, right?
Yeah, stepdad, who was also his half brother.
Wow.
But let's see. Yes. So, and then he pretty much he kept there's not much said about what happened after that until um the year 1177, where he was 15. So he was born around 1161, 1162-ish. No one knows exactly. But he was kidnapped by his father's enemies, the ones who killed his father in the year 1167 or 1177. And there was a guard who felt kind of bad for him. So the guard let him escape. And then people were like, "Damn, this dude escaped this other chief guy. He must be the shit." So he gained reputation from that. And another fact, the guard who let him escape, his son later became general for Genghis Khan. That's about it. I don't know more about that dude, but his son became his general in the future.
Sounds like a sitcom. Everyone thought he escaped, but didn't.
What do you mean?
It just sounds like a sitcom. It's like everyone's like, "Oh shit, he's a badass," but in reality, someone just let him out.
Oh yeah.
Like, imagine how history could have been changed if like they executed him or held him for ransom.
Yeah, dude, isn't that wild?
Maybe people would have like not have feared him or something.
Why is it so zoomed into your face?
How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
It's because I'm slouching and I don't wanna sit up. Exactly.
Dan asks, "Akash, I need you to do some legal research for me. The squirrel in my backyard is eating our bird feeder. Is it illegal to yeet said squirrel off the deck with an air gun?" Jeez, Dan. Dan, didn't you go squirrel hunting at one point? Just hunt it, eat it, show what's up.
That could be a good show. How to kill squirrels.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on and you can talk about squirrel hunting then. But anyway, back to Genghis. Let's see.
So he was 14 when he killed his brother, or 15.
Yeah, younger. Well, it was his other brother who actually killed the brother, but he was like in on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old was his other brother? 17.
No clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. That sounds kind of.
Yeah,
It sounds exciting though, being in Genghis Khan's life. I mean, I haven't read into it. I see a heading that says wives.
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about the wives too. Not much about it, but yeah, dude. It's it's they didn't really care about age. It's like once you turn 12, you're an adult pretty much. That was the marrying age back then. It was 12.
I feel like that's like the same though for every like most people, because a lot of like the most people died pretty early on, so gotta get
Yeah,
married.
yeah.
Like in Romeo and Juliet, they were like 12, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, dude, isn't that wild? It was
Yeah.
these 12-year-olds going through all this shit. Oh man. Yeah. No, everything's pushed off now. Till I think 18 is a stupid age.
To get married?
No, I think 18 is a stupid age for
Oh,
to be considered an adult. I think you're fine at like 16 or something. I
I
don't know
don't know.
the logic behind.
There's people who are 25 who I could consider a child.
Yeah, dude, exactly. So why make 18 the age? That makes
You should do a
you
test
know,
to figure out
everyone's still a
if you're old enough.
child at 18. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, um,
How tall is
so
Genghis?
let's find out.
Like let's
Oh,
get it.
let's
Let's. So I see a man. He's got similar facial hair to me actually. His is just
dude.
longer. Like he has it here, 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 and then here.
Let's
We got the same
probably.
ears actually. See?
How much is 170 centimeters?
I don't know. That's taller than me though. 170?
That's 5 foot, 5.5 feet. So almost, it's about like 5'7" ish
170? Oh wait.
centimeters. Yeah.
I'm dumb. I'm taller than that. I thought you said 70 inches.
No.
I'm 69 inches.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Um, that's pretty wild.
Well, the thing about Genghis Khan is he didn't want any sculptures or any paintings of him.
That's
He
kind
wanted to
of.
keep completely hidden. So all the pictures you see of him, were just later made by. I think one of the first ones was made by Kublai Khan or Kublai Khan or something, and he was made to look Chinese so that Kublai Khan can. I think for diplomacy reasons or something. I didn't look exactly into it, but Genghis Khan might not actually, look like a stereotypical Asian person. That's just how he's depicted, but no one knows. Some people say he can look like. Some people even think he had red hair. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So
He's like a
there's
he's a
no telling.
ginger. He's a
He's
ginger.
a ginger. He's a ginger.
Hell yeah.
uh, yeah, man. So it's a wild dude. He, so that had me questioning his motives actually, which I read a little bit about, but I'm like, if you don't want any sculptures or paintings of you, you obviously don't care if you're known for your greatness or not. So what did you really want? And at the time, well, so Genghis grew up in the nomadic time where because of these different small tribes, there was a lot of warfare, thievery, a lot of issues, and the only form of alliance was basically marriage, which is what his dad was trying to do when he was trying to marry him off at 9. Um, so Genghis did not like that. So one of his main purposes was just to unite these forces under one hood, so that there wouldn't be this much war. Another thing was he was apparently pretty materialistic. He wanted to conquer all these places so he can enjoy all these different material wealths. And he wouldn't be selfish either. He'd also let his subjects enjoy all of this wealth.
I have an idea. Let's record
Yeah,
a
I'll
shitty
talk a bit
intro.
more about that later. But another important note in his early life, his mother taught him the importance of alliances. So she played a big influence, and she stayed with him for a while. I don't know exactly how long, but she stayed with him for a lot of his conquests.
So, did he start the Mongol Empire, or is that not? Is he like completely unrelated to that?
Yeah,
So he started the Mongol Empire.
yeah, because before that, again, the whole area was just a bunch of nomadic tribes.
Because I'm looking at a map right now. Um,
Oh yeah, put the map up if you can.
yeah, I have a map of. Previously, I had a map of like the divided. a Mongolian area, and now I have the Mongol Empire. Uh, Very cool.
What does the map show?
Um, Naiman Kanante, Hirvid Kanante. Wow, they're all have some form of Khan in it. Kahanat
So
Agin,
Khan pretty much just means
Tatar.
ruler.
Khan means ruler.
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so the hardest part about researching this dude is the names, like, they just wouldn't stick in my head. They were all so different that they just made no sense to me. So at one point, I just gave up remembering all the different group names. Like the Tatar, they were important. He has a couple of wives from there. Um, he took over them. There was enemies he took over, but that map isn't even the length of the entire Mongol Empire. That's pretty small.
This one's around 1207.
Okay, yeah, okay. It grew a lot more. So Genghis, it was even larger, around 1227 when he died. It covered a lot of Asia. And then after him, around 1276, I believe it was at its largest, where it was into Europe and everything.
Oh yeah, didn't he? He was like he had some relation with the Roman Empire, right? Eventually, wasn't he gonna
Did he?
invade? Wasn't he gonna invade Rome, or is that a different?
Maybe. I don't know. Again, I didn't read too much into his conquest. I focused more on
On his
other
early
aspects of
life?
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at the article right now, and it says spouse, and there's a good like probably 10 names.
Yeah,
What's going
I just
on?
went through the main ones. All right.
What's going
Well,
on there?
hold up. Let me scroll.
Why is my boy an absolute playboy?
Dude, he had all the power. So there was Borte, right? That's the first one you see. Now that was his first wife. That was the one he was supposed to be given away to at 9 or 12.
How
Um,
old was she?
she she was, I believe, a year older than him. She
Okay.
was like 10 when he was 9. She was really important. Uh, she actually kind of led to him becoming the great Genghis Khan. He stuck with her pretty much his entire life. Um, but I mean, that didn't stop him from having other wives, and the other word you see, concubines. I didn't know what that was, but apparently those are just your side chicks, pretty much. So he had
His
many wives,
mistresses.
many side chicks. Let's see, there was Yinsing, Yusugen, and Yasoi. So Yusugen, she was part of the Tatar kingdom, and he took her after you know conquering that kingdom and that region. And while they were banging, she's like, "Yo, I promise to treat me nicely. I also have a sister, Yasoi, who's also very pretty. You should marry her too." And he's like, "I." And then he met Yasoi, and he's like, "Damn, yeah, she's pretty chill. So I'm gonna marry her too."
What the fuck?
So
Open relationship.
yeah, dude. Yeah, and I guess it was normal back then. So he was chilling. So he had plenty of wives and plenty of these
So
concubines.
did the wives have a bunch of husbands, or was it just one way?
It was one way, the
So
way it seemed.
okay.
Although it looks like there was some, I guess, infidelity there because one of his children that Borte raised might be his illegitimate child. But even knowing that his child might be illegitimate, Genghis raised that child as his own.
Fair, fair.
Everyone say simp.
Simp. So that child is Jon Snow, or well, it's too complicated.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
yeah, that's too complicated for that. All right. Cool.
But
So
his
he's
wives
a
were
playboy.
treated very well. They were given camps of their own, where some other lower level wives or concubines and children would live. And when he went on his conquest, the wives would actually manage the kingdom and the empire. When he went on, he'd always take one wife with him when he went to conquer other places. Um, but the rest of them they were left to pretty much raise the children and lead the empire. And his wives were also very influential, helping him. influencing him with battle strategies, etc. So, and he also pretty much saw them as equal. They say that towards the end of his life, he tried to pass a law where, so they followed this code called the Yasa that Genghis Khan created, and under the Yasa, they say that he wanted to create a law that made everyone equal, including women, give them complete equality. But I don't know. There's no real evidence backing that up. It's just some people saying that, so we don't really know. But again, he treated everyone fairly. His entire empire was a merit-based system. He was one of the first people at his time to not really care about family ties or race or anything like that. The only thing that mattered was his own family was always at the top, but everyone else was completely merit-based. And if you did well, if you were loyal, you lived a decent life.
It was pretty capitalist almost.
Yeah, pretty progressive dude.
Well, there is a lot of people he killed.
Well, that's the interesting part.
Okay, let's talk about the people he killed, because that's like a very important thing. Did you get into that?
What about the people he killed?
I don't know, just like I saw some memes. I was gonna look for a meme for Genghis Khan, just in case you wanted me to post. And it said he killed like millions of people.
Yeah, he did. He killed um entire tribes and everything like that.
But was
At
it just
that
like
time,
war or something? Like,
well, not just war. He didn't want to kill a lot of these people. Everyone he conquered, he wanted to take under his wing. That was his strategy. He'd take them in as long as they pledged their loyalty. But if he found that they weren't loyal, they weren't giving in, then he'd be like, "All right, you die." He was very black and white with it. He was like, either you're loyal to me, or you die. You
okay,
get to choose.
gotcha.
And if they did pledge his loyalty, he would take them in as his own subjects, and he would treat them fairly. He wouldn't like be a really harsh ruler or anything. If he knew that you were completely loyal, that was his huge thing, loyalty. He cared about that a lot. So he didn't just kill people for no reason. He just killed people. I'll tell you a story later that shows just how much he values loyalty. But here, let's talk about his rise to power a little bit, right?
Okay.
So Torgel was Borte's father, and he offered himself as an ally to Torgel. Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't Borte's father.
Who's Borde?
Torgel was his wife, his first wife.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I wasn't her father. No, but Torgel was his father's friend, one of his father's allies. So he first offered himself as a vassal, or pretty much an obligatory ally to Torgel. And he pretty much, at that time, he was building up a small following, and Torgel helped with that. And his wife got kidnapped. This was before he was So he went back to his wife when he was around 17ish to find her, and that's when they actually got married. It was after he killed his brother and everything like that. Once he built up a small following, once he escaped when he was captured, he went back, met his wife again. He asked for her hand in marriage. Her father, seeing that he came all the way back, he's like, "All right, you guys can get married." And then a bit later, she gets captured. So he asked Torgel and his childhood friend Jamuka to help. So they form an alliance and they beat up some people to get his wife again. And this event is believed to be a crossroads in his conquest. I guess they say this started him becoming this great Genghis Khan. Because if his wife hadn't gotten kidnapped, he wouldn't have really had a stronger alliance with Torgel and Jamuka to go get her. But after this whole thing happened, he had a falling out with Jamuka, who was considered to be his blood brother. And the next 10 years are kind of silent, but he pretty much Jamuka and him grew apart. They both grew their own following. We don't know exactly how, but they became huge rivals. And Jamuka attacked him in 1187, which was around when he was 25-ish. Um, but he didn't lose. He won. But they went their own separate ways again. Let's see. The fact that he was merit based so attracted him a lot of followers in those silent years, because they were like, this other guy isn't going to let me progress. He's just going to kill me because I'm not his own family. So I'm going to go to this Genghis Khan guy where I can prove myself, type of thing. So they had opportunity. Um, See, raised orphans. He gave his orphans he conquered to his mother to treat as part of his own family, which was pretty cool. Uh, Later, he had so Torgel. They had this strong alliance, but Torgel's son was envious of Genghis Khan, so he turned his father against him. So Torgel was like, he finally gave in and he allied himself with Jamuka, and they pretty much attacked Genghis. Genghis, being the badass he is, defeated them. Don't know exactly what went into it, but Jamuka was later given the title of Gur Khan, which also means universal ruler. So Genghis Khan technically means like universal ruler. No one knows exactly what Genghis means, but it's universal ruler or something like that. But apparently Gur Khan also meant that. People seeing that Jamuka got the title of Gur Khan got kind of mad. They didn't think he deserved it. And pretty much some of his own people abandoned him and turned him into Genghis. Now this is where Genghis shows how much loyalty was important. He he killed the people who abandoned Jamuka because he's like, damn, you guys weren't loyal to Jamuka. I can't expect you to be loyal to me. So he
Damn.
killed them, and he offered Jamuka his friendship again. He's like, bro, come on, let's just be chill. Let's put this behind him. Jamuka was like, nah, give me an honorable death. So
Killed
he was
Jamuka.
given an honorable. He was given a noble death.
What does that mean? Did they
Let me
just cut
look.
his head off?
So Jamuka, Mr. Togo. The custom was to die without spilling blood, specifically by having one's back broken.
Oh my
So his
god.
back was broken.
How do you do that?
Oh, no clue. It doesn't say.
What the fuck?
But he broke his back.
Oh my god. Did
But
they
hey,
throw him down
Jamuka
the
wanted this.
stairs? I know, but like, dude, what a fucking little shit. Like, fucking, I would have been like, alright, let me become like a fucking governor of part of the empire.
Too much ego, dude. Too much ego.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
kill
that
Khan
might
later.
make you wonder, did he deserve a noble death for being such a coon?
Maybe he's just done. Maybe it was a publicity stunt.
Let's see, chat. Dan says, "Rip brother."
Or he was talking about when they killed his brother earlier.
Yeah.
Damn.
Uh,
Genghis Khan's actually very interesting.
Yeah, there was a lot. I thought he was just this like crazy warlord type of dude who
Me
just
too.
went around killing everyone, but that is not the case at all. He also had a thirst for knowledge. That was another reason he conquered all these places, and he wouldn't just burn down these other places once he conquered them. He would again, he would take them under his wing. He would learn about them. He would learn about their technologies, and he would quickly adapt and add it to his own set of technologies. So he was very smart in that way. He was constantly adapting, which allowed him to take over more nations. And another thing that was cool about him was he was accepting of all religion. Under the Yasa, the Yasa tolerated all religions, and he actually learned from Buddhists, Taoists, Muslims, Christians, and he was very interested in learning all their morals and philosophies.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
so when I think of the Mongols, I think of fucking crazy destruction, like just pillaging everything in sight. kind of like the Vikings. Um, did they do that, or is that like not?
If you didn't pledge your allegiance,
So like you're if you don't pledge
if you
your
didn't
allegiance,
bend
you're
the
done.
knee,
Oh,
huh?
fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you bend the knee?
Oh, I mean,
Like, let's assume.
depends what type of a war leader I was, what type of a chief I was back then, dude. If I was a chief who had a high ego, then no, I wouldn't. But if I was a chief who actually cared about what happened to my people, then yeah, I would for sure.
But if you have like 100 followers, like a little mercenary group, you're like, yeah, you got enough. You got a couple tents, horses.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I pledge my loyalty. Some of these chiefs can, if you were a chief before, I think he might still let you be an administrator for your own land. And I wasn't exactly sure how he chose his administrators, but if you did climb up the ranks and became general, you were treated really well. Like generals, he let them do whatever they wanted. He had complete faith and trust in them, and he let them make their own choices, and he let them live a good life. They got a lot of the spoilage from war, so bending the knee wasn't all bad.
Hmm. Okay, let me retract. I remember I said he showed up in the Roman Empire. I was
Mm-hmm.
confusing him with Attila the Hun. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Because like, yeah, my bad.
Wait, what's the name of the person you're confusing with?
Attila the Hun.
Matilda Hunt. Don't know who that is.
Uh, yeah, he's
Yeah, because I don't
yeah, my
think
bad.
he was dead before they ever really conquered Europe.
Yeah. Okay. So you said he had a big influence on the Silk Road, which is like really important in history.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk it today if you want. I know a guy who did. He's on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can like yeah, you go through the desert and stuff. I think that'd be a cool thing to do one
Yeah.
day.
See, dude, I always thought the Silk Road was like one line through Asia, but no, it's like a circle
Yeah,
around Asia.
I always thought trade routes were really important. Um,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially the creator of Boat Game, the co-creator of Boat Game would have to.
you're right.
Um, yeah, that got me thinking. Right, the Silk Road. I was wondering how efficient it was, and then how people would pass information and stuff around. Then I realized, and then got me thinking. This is completely off topic, by the way. Randomly
Here,
got me
let me
thinking.
pull up a picture of it.
Sure, got me thinking how many people it would take to line up around Earth, and if you played the telephone game around Earth, how long it would take for the
Oh wait,
message to get from person to person back to you. So it's 90 million people around Earth, if they were standing shoulder to shoulder, and if it took each person 5 seconds to pass the message on to the next person,
mm-hmm.
it would pretty much take a long ass time. I believe it was like 15 years to pass the message all the way around Earth.
I had the wrong picture up. My bad. That was something else.
Gotcha.
I thought it was the Silk
Yellow
Road.
Bulldog.
It was red, and so I assumed. I put it
It
up.
was red, so you assumed it was
I thought it
Silk
was
Road.
the Silk Road. Yeah. So are you saying? Sorry. Continue.
Oh no, that was my thought. That was done. It was yeah,
Very
90
cool.
million people fit around the Earth's equator. If you took all the people, you can wrap around the Earth 15 times or 27 times or something. There it is. It also went there. I think extensions to it. They also went around the bottom of China.
Oh, like here. Oh, you can't see it, but I'm like rubbing the cusp of China. It's very cool.
Yeah, and he also had these crazy spy networks.
Spy networks.
And yeah, I didn't talk too much about him, but he had spies everywhere, feeding him knowledge and information. He would use that to his advantage to
So
gain knowledge and
some
destroy people.
espionage. That's what you're saying. That's a very cool.
Snowden worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Damn, dude, I gotta read more about this guy now.
And there's a lot to him too, dude. I'm just scratching the surface here, and it's already a lot. And again, I was just so interested in his childhood because it was fascinating finding out that he came from nothing and built up all the way. I always thought it was given to him and it came from a great family of Khans or something. Khan just meant ruler. I didn't realize that. When I think of Khan, I usually think of Muslim people because in India, Khans are generally it's a Muslim last name, so that's what I think. But I guess not.
Is it spelled
But
the
then
same way?
again, yeah, Khan. Yeah.
Hmm.
Again, he could be ancestors to a bunch of those Khans. Definitely possible.
You got a lot of children,
Just
so
yeah. So 1 in 200 of modern men are descendants of him. So it's like very
wow.
high chance.
Wow. There's a
Very,
high chance that I'm related to him.
yeah. And dude, that's another little side tangent I went into. That's when I made the realization that the Y chromosome is unchanged, passed from father to child. So you have the exact same Y chromosome in you as Genghis Khan did, if you are related. Because the X
So
chromosome is passed all around, but the Y chromosome from father to son does not change. It's always maps from father to son.
so are you saying I am the true ruler of Mongolia?
Dude, I think you might be. You got to get your Y chromosome checked out.
Very interesting.
Oh,
I need to look at my family tree because some of them came from China into the Philippines.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you could be part Chinese.
I am part Chinese. Like
You are.
it's like I don't even say I am because it's so small. But
Yeah, I think I'm just 100% Indian.
yeah,
It's so hard to trace family trees back in South India where I'm from, because your last name is your father's first name. So Balaji is my dad's first name.
so your son will be his last name will be Akash.
No, no, it'll be Balaji. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
okay,
continue with that because I don't live in India anymore.
gotcha.
But just in South India too, so it's so hard to trace back family lines
Mm-hmm.
and lineage. But what interested me was I was wondering why he never conquered India, and it was already getting late by the time I got to that, so I got lazy halfway through looking into it. There was huge stories about how he captured this dude called Shah Muhammad and sent his son to go get India, but his son was a failure or something like that. Don't
He's
quote
a
me on any
simp.
of this. It was yes, Shah Muhammad's son was a chimp,
No, not
but he
chimp, a
pretty
simp.
much yeah, that's what I meant. I meant simp, but it came out as chimp.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know what happened with the whole India and Southeast Asia, but he did conquer a lot of northern India around the Himalayas. He used that as one of the routes. Actually, he went all the way around from Mongolia, all the way around to like where all the Arabic countries are now, down under the Himalayas, and then back up through China to attack some of his enemies in Mongolia
Wow,
to flank them. Yeah,
fuck, kind of. It worked, I guess.
yeah, dude, it worked, huh? But yeah, that's pretty much all I looked into, and then I looked a little bit into the politics of this time, and again, they lived by a military code called the Yasa, which is completely merit based on who you are, what you do, fully based on loyalty, and like I said, full trust to his generals to make their own decisions, and again, wives were given camps which they can rule over and watch over, and he took their influence. So he was completely about equality and taking in people he conquered. He's a pretty open dude. And then later, his one of his sons took over. And apparently, they had a weird system where your youngest son would get the majority of the troops, because his youngest son Jogi or someone got like 100,000 men. This is 120,000 men.
Jesus.
Which I wonder what the population was back in the day. Earth population.
It's crazy though. This was only like 800 years ago. That's not that long ago.
Yeah, that's so weird to think about, man. So the year 1200, the Earth's population was around 400 million. So, and his men, just his troops, were 120K. That's not counting the people he conquered. And remember, all the way back then, there weren't many people in the United States, or what is now the United States. So, everyone was a majority of with the population was probably in Africa and Eurasia. So, he pretty much probably had half the world under his control. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, pretty much all of Asia.
Hmm?
Pretty much all of Asia.
Yeah, again, just not India and Southeast Asia.
It's probably a reason for that.
Wow.
Oh, do you see the
Yeah,
map?
it's crazy how he did a lot of this in, I guess, in his 40s, from 1206 to 12. Looking at that GIF. Wow. And I guess, yeah, a lot of it went away once it was passed on to his sons and stuff, because eventually it kept getting split between children. So I guess that was the sad part, that there wasn't one ruler, so he couldn't keep the empire going after his death. It kept getting split between his children. So that's weird, I guess. His whole thing was to unite it, but in the end, it gets split apart.
That's sad. What do you think would, okay, so like what if it never split? What if today the same Mongol Empire is like a country? Like we don't have Russia. We have like maybe half of China, so that's like we have like half of China, and then it's like Mongolia is like this huge fucking thing.
That would be wild, man. Especially in this. I mean, so much history would change if that were the case. Because if that was the case, they would have eventually probably gotten all of Europe. They would have gotten India, and they would have probably captured all of Eurasia and gone on to Africa if they stayed under one command, one control. So it's, what's interesting though is it might possibly be a more united world today.
It might be, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you could bring it back to like if you treat it like the British Empire or like the Roman Empire. It all like broke apart eventually.
Yeah.
It was just unstable.
What I liked about or found interesting more about Genghis's empire rather than the other ones is unlike the British Empire, they destroyed a lot of knowledge. They got rid of it. They went with the philosophy that their way of the right way. What I liked about Genghis Khan was he wasn't like that. He was tolerant of all other religions, all other types of knowledge and technologies, and he was constantly learning and adapting. So I think that would have led to a much better system, unlike if it was the British who had conquered everything and kept it that way. Because then, I guess in a way, then it would be a very whitewashed society, which again, if you learn, I guess, some of their history and some of the American history, it was written from their perspective, where Christianity was king and so and so. But looking at Genghis's side, there was probably still a lot of history rewritten because he was the winner. So there's no way of exactly knowing. But that being said, he led to a more diverse yet united culture.
Wow. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
This is like interviewing someone who's dead,
Yeah, dude.
That's what I was thinking about.
For sure. Like, well, yeah, trying to look into someone who's dead, not really interviewing them. That would be dope, dude.
You want me to dress up as Genghis?
You dress up and come on as a surprise guest.
No, how about this? The new show is like You research a person, but then you have to role play as that person.
God no.
Hell no.
God no. No.
I kind of want to do Rasputin now. I'm inspired. Rasputin,
Rasputin.
a Russian
Who
peasant.
that?
Rasputin. He's a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. I wonder, where do you think the world is going to be in the next 800 years?
Well, we'll be talking about Zach and Akash show and how they took over the entire state.
The entire digital land.
What do we consider a conquest in the modern age? Can you have a conquest? You know, the closest we've had to a conquest is like from like a superpower is, I don't know, Russia and Crimea, I guess. I guess the closest we have.
I guess there's India and Pakistan always fighting over Kashmir, conquest over Kashmir. So there's
Yeah.
still like small border claims, but
What about the
so many
big ones?
societies are so powerful now that I guess it's hard. There's a lot more places getting independence rather than places getting conquered.
Is it better to have separate states, or do you think is it better to have one, like what if there was one government for the whole world? Or separate?
I mean, if the government worked, dude, that's the
I guess,
dangerous part about having one government, right? It's got to work.
Yeah. Well, I'm frozen.
Yeah.
God damn it.
At least you weren't frozen in a weird out like yesterday.
Always gets
But
me.
yeah, it would be. I don't know if it worked, and everyone believed in. I guess back to *Sapiens*, it's all about common beliefs, right? If everyone believed in the government, and the government believed in the people and worked for the people, yeah, I don't see why it couldn't work. And dude, that's another interesting thing I was thinking of when reading about Genghis Khan is he must have been a crazy smart dude to manage all those places he conquered. To imagine managing the entirety of Asia, and then his children then managing parts of Europe
with no internet.
Yeah.
It's like you have no idea if your homeland is being sacked right now, like because it takes you 2 weeks to ride out.
Yeah, and imagine how much loyalty you had to inspire to completely trust the people you leave behind to take care of these lands when you're gone.
It's hard. It's like you gotta execute people.
Yeah, again, I really wonder how a spy network worked, dude. Did they use bird messages back then? Let me look.
Word of mouth, maybe.
Yeah, but I remember I did the calculations. To go around the world, it'll take 15 years. Asia will probably at least take a couple years to get information from one end to the other. Word of mouth. How were
Well, maybe
messages?
fuck. Maybe they were constantly moving around. Like you'd hitch a ride with like a caravan somewhere. Just transfer the message.
Yeah, it looks like probably just horses or something like that. I don't know if birds were a thing then.
Genghis Khan invented the internet in 12.
Dude, imagine what type of crazy shit you could do with the internet, though, if you had it back then.
Fuck, dude. That's really cool
Brian,
thinking about like.
It definitely wouldn't take 15 years around
to Brian
Asia,
comment something.
But it will take a couple, for sure, to get from one end to the other.
Wait, are you talking about if we wrapped people around the world and had them play telephone?
Yeah. It would be 1 to 2 people, but what's faster, Brian? Traveling quickly. Yeah, again, I guess if they had horses, yeah, it would probably be through horses, so it would be faster. New York to California in 15 days. All right. Okay, in that case, it maybe only took a month or something then back then. The U.S. Pony Express. What is that?
Oh, that's cool. See, see, the internet's fucking like boring now. It's like you can just text someone a piece of information. I thought it's cool before we had that, where you had to fucking like travel. Like fucking like the internet's too overpowered.
Oh man, U.S. 1860. Wow, that's so cool.
Imagine doing a podcast in 1200. You and I would have to like continually write letters to each other, and a whole podcast would take a year to film because we would have to continually send letters back and forth.
Oh, dude. Not just back and forth to each other. We'd have to. That's just a conversation. We'd have to somehow get it written and delivered to everyone who wanted it.
I think my new life goal is to understand all of human history from like the tribal times before shit was recorded all the way up until like modern times. Just be able to like recite the story.
I wish I can just take that knowledge and like stick it into my head like a USB drive instead of having to work and research it.
Well,
Because that'd be really dope knowledge
it's
to have.
only work if you make it work, you know?
That's true. That's true.
Like if I were to tell you you have a deadline and you'd hate it, as we've experienced.
That's facts. But yeah, that was Genghis Khan. And so one question I had was, we don't know, everything we know was just written by a few people back then. We don't know how much is true, how much isn't true. We don't know anything exactly. But now in the world, everything is recorded, all this content. I wonder if 800 years in the future, how clear an image they'd have of today. Because we have all these long form videos. I also wonder if they know what's real and what's not. Would they like watch the Avengers and think it was real, or?
No, I think they would think that's a movie.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I guess depending on how well history is tracked, right? Because there's also a lot of false information on the internet, and there's already a lot of random things people believe is real, even though it's not. For example, people think the Earth is round or a sphere,
Yeah,
when actually it's a donut.
I thought we were on a turtle's back.
Nah, dude, it's a donut. Because think about it, right? The sun is right in the middle, and the Earth is a donut, and then the donut kind of goes inwards into itself. That causes the day-night cycles.
That's
And then the
fun.
moon loops around in a
So you're
spiral
saying the
pattern like
donut is
that.
going like this?
Yeah, it's going like that. That's what causes the tectonic plates to move, causing earthquakes and things like that.
I'm trying to like visualize what the fuck a moving donut looks like.
Yeah, because it has to be a really big part collapsing into a really tiny part and then expanding again.
Very
That's why
interesting.
the sky is blue, dude. We're just seeing the ocean on the other side of the donut when we're in the donut hole.
Weird. Interesting theory, Akash.
Dude,
I
the
still
donut
think the
Earth
Earth
fan
is.
theory.
I still think the Earth is flat. Because, dude,
I don't know
if you place a ball on like the ground, why doesn't it just fucking roll away if the Earth was round? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that?
Well, dude, it's because obviously, it's big enough where in the shape of the donut, one tiny part of a ball can be seen as flat. But if you look at the donut as a whole, one thing I saw, flat earthers are getting concerned by social distancing because they're afraid people would fall off the edge if they distance themselves too much.
Fuck, these like text messages are distracting me. That's weird. Fucking flat earthers. I once joined a flat earther Discord. Oh god. Someone like got a link or an invite to flat earthers. And I went in there and it was just so it was
Was it
so
just people
stupid.
memeing, or was it
All right, so
people being legit?
half of us were memeing. So like I was memeing obviously. But the other half was like legit. Um Oh
Oh,
god. Fuck me, dude. Yeah, we
but
need to
yeah,
get some weird people on the show, interview them.
Big Andy.
Yeah,
We gotta get Big Andy on the show.
I would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey guys.
What's up, guys? I'm Big Andy.
Oh man. But yeah, dude. Things like the flat Earth. I wonder if people in the future would think we actually thought majority thought it was flat Earth, because we don't know. There's a lot of false information on the internet that's going to be preserved throughout time.
No, because they say back then a lot of people thought the Earth was flat, but a lot of people knew it was round. Like people just knew. They were like, "No, there's no way it's flat."
I wonder how people knew back then, though, because not everyone was scientists or something where they can like look at the angles. Is it because the sky looked globular?
I have no idea.
Why does the sky look globular?
What does that
Is
mean?
it, you look at the sky, it doesn't look flat. It looks a bit curved. If you look at the horizon, you can kind of see the sky
Oh, yeah,
curving
you
down.
can if you're high enough, you can see the curvature of the Earth. Like,
Yeah, dude. How high are we talking here? How many milligrams?
no, but Jesus
I can
Christ.
also see the
No,
curvature
okay.
of the Earth.
I'm pretty sure the New World Trade Center, I think you can see the curvature of the Earth if you're up there.
Mm.
An airplane, it's a little tricky.
'Cause, yeah, I mean, if you look at the horizon, it looks a little curved. It doesn't look flat.
Yeah, so I don't.
Kyle Collins says, "Stand on top of a mountain,
Yeah,
look at the horizon." Yeah.
yeah, you can see the curvature. That's why I think people aren't that stupid. You know, I don't think people were that stupid back then. I think we give ourselves a little too much
No.
credit. I think we're stupider in some ways.
Yeah. No. Because I think people were smart in their time for whatever, or they were average in their time for whatever was considered average at their time. But what's common knowledge to us simply wasn't common knowledge then,
It's
I
true.
believe. So they
I
weren't
think they had.
stupid. They just were uninformed, and they
I
were
think
still trying to.
they had more intuition than we did or do now, just in my opinion.
Probably survival intuition. Yeah.
Because like if you got naked in the woods and I threw you in there, you'd probably die. Well,
Well, not after our
not
survival
after our
show
survival
with
show with
Jack.
Jack. But like if you were
I
to
still
take
don't
one
know
of
how to
them,
start a fire.
like if you took someone who lived in like a tribe before farms and stuff and you got them naked and threw them in the woods, they would probably know exactly what to do. Because
Yeah, but if you take a person there, throw them into a corporate environment now, they're not going to know what to do.
yeah, that's true.
I got a call.
Oh. Okay. That's a discussion for another time. But that was Genghis Khan, a playboy of his day,
Oh wait, hold on, my headphones stopped.
entrepreneur of his day. Kosh can't hear
God.
me. Oh fuck,
Yeah.
that was me.
Okay.
I was
I'm
just
back.
saying that was Genghis Khan. He was a
Mm-hmm.
playboy, a politician,
Philanthropist.
philanthropist.
Great con. Yeah, but a lot more to him than what people commonly think.
Hmm. Honestly,
Remember, that's your.
I knew nothing about Genghis Khan before today.
I didn't either. I just thought he was this again crazy warlord going around conquering everything. And for 1 in 200 men, he could be your great 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 a few more great grandfathers.
It's pretty hot. We could be
Well,
related. We could be cousins.
I hate how messed up my hair is every morning. Maybe I should start showering before this, so my hair is
That's what
style.
I do. Okay, I think we should wrap it up. I gotta go.
Yes, we should. It is 10.
I gotta do some stuff today. No idea what, but I gotta do some stuff. So, all right, everyone.
Oh, man.
Thanks for joining us today. Tomorrow, same time. I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll let you know.
Yeah, something to do with business or career development.
Yep. But tomorrow is 9 a.m. as usual. If you
Saturday
are
or Friday. Oh, sorry.
Friday, we're gonna be later.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when about Friday. But for those watching and those listening, thank you for joining us today. If you're listening and want to join us live, we're the Zach and Akash Show on YouTube. And if you are watching us right now, you can see right up there the Zach and Akash Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And if you want to reach out to us and see the stupid ass posts we post on Instagram, we are the Zach and Akash Show on Instagram. So follow us there. And if you enjoyed, truly enjoyed, if you have friends who also would enjoy this, share it to them, see if they like it. You know, a few of our friends that we shared to liked it, or they pretend to like it to make us happy. One of those. So
Jesus.
definitely join us tomorrow again at 9 a.m. and we will see you then.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Thank you. Yo, we gotta do the